me clearly. America is not a racist country.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a really tragic story that I came across. This woman that you're looking at, her name was Betty Tyson. She died at the age of 75 about a week ago. They had her funeral actually today. She spent 25 years behind bars for a murder she never committed. It wasn't until 25 years later they finally let her go. There was evidence to overturn the case that was withheld by the police. She could have been free all this time, and they kept her behind bars. So she was a troubled child. In the story, it talks about her having, the father wasn't in the home. She was one of 8 children. She got into drugs, she got into prostitution, and there was a man that was looking for a prostitute, and it was not her, it was someone else. And the next day they found him strangled with his own necktie in an alley. So the police rounded, her and other people up, and they literally beat confessions out of people. The cops did that, which we should not be surprised. Betty ended up getting the crime pinned on her, and she wound up in prison for 25 years. Never ever committed the crime. In fact, they had evidence that she did not do this, and it was withheld. This is why I will never, ever, ever believe in your system. And when you do all that cliche talk about people doing crimes, the bottom line is I'm starting to believe you got people in these jails by the hundreds of thousands that never committed a crime at all. And I really believe the prisons are filled with people that commit petty crimes or no crime at all. They are the bulk of the prison population. I really truly believe that. We have seen way too many of these crimes pent on people. Sometimes I did one a few months ago, and there was no crime at all. The whole crime was made up. The whole crime was made up. I believe innocent people are being put in jail for profit. They are doing this for profit, y'all. I really truly believe that. There is a lot of money being made on prison labor. They don't care how they make that money. They don't care. Just as long as it's enough people behind bars to do the work. If you notice, they never show no concern about innocent people being behind bars. Caring 25 years later, who the hell are you doing a favor for other than yourself? You already got 25 years of prison labor out of that person. You're not doing them no favor. That's not a favor. So this is what it is, y'all. But I really believe it's a big amount of profit. Number one, the cop is going to get paid for the arrest, and then these corporations are going to profit from the labor. It's a lot of money involved. That's why they keep doing this. And we know our people by far are the most exonerated in this country. So when you say we are committing the most crime, I'm not sure about that. When I look at these exonerations and the amount of exonerations that occur, I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that. Our people became criminals the day they stepped off of the plantation. And then immediately after that, Look at the timing of when they start putting these jails up all around the country. It was right after our people left the plantation. So we were always the intended target. So, no, you don't have no right to come over here with an expectation that somebody should be supporting your system. I don't support your system. And people in our community should not be, co signing anything in regards to this system in the country. Nobody should be co signing this crap. So, Betty Tyson is a woman that spent 25 years behind bars for a murder that she never committed. There was evidence, new evidence, that could have cleared her a long time ago. Unfortunately, she, around August 17th, suffered a heart attack and she passed on. Her sister is the one that is telling her story about how she was caught up in the system and behind bars for a murder conviction. She was in there for 25 years to life for a murder she never committed. The victim was Timothy Haworth, and apparently he was in the city of Philadelphia on business. And I'm sorry, of New York on business. He was at a Rochester hotel on May 24th, 1973. He went out looking for a prostitute while he was on this trip. And the next day, he was found strangled in an alley by his own necktie. So somebody took his necktie and they strangled him to death. In May of 1998, a judge finally overturned her murder conviction, but she had lost 25 years of her life. When she went to prison, y'all, she was 25 years old. It was near her 50th birthday when she finally was able to leave jail. It is disgusting what they do in this country to our people. It is absolutely disgusting. And it makes it even more disgusting when she could have been out long before 25 years. She said she was very angry and raging when she first went behind bars. Who wouldn't? You you're in there for something you never did. So she found solace in reading the Bible, and she started counseling the other women in prison, the ones with AIDS. She also got her printer's apprenticeship. She led aerobic classes behind bars, and she was called mom by the younger inmates. She said, all that bitterness and anger left me in my late 70s. So she was trying to find peace. It's hard to do that. So she grew up in her fatherless home of 8 children. She dropped out of school at the age of 14. She developed a heroin habit. She started doing some prostitution, you know, and she and another prostitute were convicted of Hallworth's murder. And they said the confession was beaten out of them. The police literally beat them until they confessed. The two teens were runaways. She and the other teen, they were runaways, and one of whom revealed long after to the same officer had terrorized them. So they said the police officer that beat them into a confession, another person had came forward and said that same cop also terrorized them. Like I said, these many of these cops are bigger criminals than the ones that are going behind bars. So she received a settlement of $1.25 million from the city of Rochester, but would struggle financially after prison, unable to find work as a printer. When she spoke with AP, she was earning about $143 a week cleaning at a daycare center. Oh my goodness. In my opinion, okay, you know, this is this is just awful. Let me just go on. So her sister said she was a very kind person. She helped anyone in need. And I tried to tell her, you can't help everybody now. She did. She did as much as she could. In the months before her heart attack, Tyson had spent time with an ailing older sister who died in April. So she was helping her siblings along that weren't doing well. And Thomas said a younger sister also died less than a month ago. She loved her big family. This is so horrible. This is so heartbreaking. But you know what, y'all? This is our story in America. It really is. This is our story. You know, we are the most exonerated because we are the most targeted. And we are the most targeted because, look, the plantation is now up at the prisons. And that's where the slavery is still happening to this very day. Now, they'll tell you slavery is over. Slavery has never been over in America. You just call it different names, and now it's in the prison, and you got all of these corporations and universities and businesses that are using that labor for profit. And it's the same as slavery. Many of these folks are working for pennies on the dollar, and in some facilities, they're not paid at all for their labor. It's still free labor. So it is, if somebody is doing labor and not getting paid, that's slavery. And that's all it is. So America has never gotten rid of slavery. They just keep moving it around to other places. That's all. Y'all, please tell me what you think about this video. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell. I'll see you on the next video, and may Betty Tyson rest in power. And my prayers go out to her family. Peace, family.